Welcome all to the Dr. Beasley's Clean Room. I am the Director of Success, Chris Racana, and it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Rick Fawcett, RAD Garage.
You are much too kind. It is just wonderful to be here with you and the team.
So thank you so much. Rick traveled all the way from Calgary, from Alberta, flew down into Chicago a few days ago, and I would say the bromance is blossoming, as we were talking about earlier.
I would concur. Yeah, we've had a great time. It's always great to see you, Chris. We really hit it off at the Chicago event in, was it March?
Yeah, March at the Chicago Car Supplies Warehouse and Chicago Auto Pros put on, and we got to work together.
Yeah, that's where we lit the flame, and we've let it just simmer, and here I am, spending a few awesome days of my summer holiday down here in Chicago with you guys. It's awesome.
I mean, come on, who doesn't want to make their clean room a little bit more rad? So, I mean, that's just a good thing.
I definitely did my best to do that, yeah.
So, I mean, just to give a little bit of background, those of you who might be unfamiliar, so Rick has a YouTube channel, an incredible YouTube channel where he posts amazing films centered around detailing of various vehicles. So, Rick and I had actually met a couple years ago. I went on a live stream with him and who was it? Papa Smurf and Mike Wilder from Mike's Detailing. So that's how we got to know each other.
Yeah.
Then we kind of continued when we at the Car Supplies Warehouse Creator event. We worked a little bit more there. Pan, the organizer, and Raldis Details. We all came down to HQ, and that's when we started talking. Like we gotta work together a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, from that Chicago event, you introduced me to your Nano-Resin Pro system and generously supplied me with a kit of my own. I took that back to Calgary and applied it to my daily driven Audi SQ5. So that sort of finished off that project, because when I was down here in March, you walked me and Tony and Pan through the process of using the NSP primers and then, you know, the coating builder and then the coating itself. So I took all that knowledge you imparted on me then and did that in my own garage with the help of Alex. Alex, my buddy from Canada. What's up, Alex? And now I'm down here this weekend helping you guys chronicle and showcase the process of laying down that coating on this amazing car behind us, which I'm sure you're gonna talk all about. But.
Oh yes. So what we were, the whole kind of the plan, so to speak, was Rick was coming down to Chicago and we wanted a RAD Garage style video on our process of this 1966 GT350. So those of you out there know that I have a particular fondness for GT350s, especially when they're Wimbledon white with Guardsman blue stripes. So the story we kind of wanted to tell was updating the classic to contemporary standards. So now as all of you know out there, most of you should know at this point, my 2020 GT350, same colors, is protected by, was prepped by nano surface primers and protected by Nano-Resin Pro. Well, that's exactly what we wanted to do to this vehicle here, is kind of update it into modern technology.
Yeah, it's 1966 in every aspect, but it's 2023 in ceramic coating technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of theory we were running on. But of course, you know, Rick's first time doing an on-location shoot of a truly RAD Garage video. So, you know, this was going to present some challenges for us. So, I mean, what would you say? I mean, initially, what was your biggest challenge? You know, packing up all your gear, double checking everything, making sure you had it all.
Well, funny you say that, because the night before we started the project, I'm laying in bed in the hotel and I'm thinking, I forgot the remote for my remote dolly. And so I start, you know, having little heart palpitations, the breath. And then I remembered I brought a whole second one brand new in the box. But then I started freaking out. Well, is it charged? How long does it take to charge? So it's just, yeah, coming from a place where all my stuff is exactly where it is to packing it and going on the road. I like, mobile detailers have my respect, but people who do this audio visual stuff and go on the road, man, it takes a lot of planning. But other than that, I had everything. Everything worked well. I did run into some issues though, some technical issues with my memory cards, and had a bit of a heart palpitation moment when I went to scroll back on some of the footage we shot yesterday, and on the viewfinder it said, cannot display image, cannot display image. And I just, because I had some issues in Chicago back in March, mostly audio related, but yeah, I think this is really the second time I've gone on the road with this, and I think I'm working the kinks out, but there's just always that that stress. And plus, I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Well, I remember you did a video. You said you were done, or was it an Instagram post? You're done with the Rode 2 mic. You're like, they're dead to me, or whatever it is. And then, so what was the solution? What'd you end up going with?
Well, I actually read the manual.
Ah!
So my apologies to Rode. The thing with Rode was I just used it out of the box with factory settings, and so my audio was clipping.
Okay.
And that really, there's nothing you can really do at that point. So I went and played with the settings and everything. It was, that March event was like it was a busy time for me as a teacher. So I knew the event was coming and I thought, oh, I've got a week, I could test all my equipment out, but things just started happening and I didn't get a chance to really prepare myself. But for this one, I had the whole week of holidays before I flew down. So I was able to run through everything and test everything out. So we didn't use my Rode mics on this, but the thing with those is they're pretty clunky.
Yeah.
Like, I like the DJI one.
Yeah, with the magnet.
Yeah,
I thought
with
that
the
magnet
magnet's
option was
ingenious.
nice because now you're not stuck to okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to wear a T-shirt. It's like where do you clip it?
Oh
on
yeah,
a T-shirt?
and if you have a T-shirt, yeah, it holds it down. And also the viewfinder on the not the transmitter, the receiver, you can see from the front, and it's you can toggle through things. So the
nice.
DJI one is definitely, I'll be getting that. I just need my YouTube views to go up a little bit. So.
And we can help you with that. And speaking of that, folks, we love bringing you great content. So an opportune time to go ahead and ask you, why don't you go ahead and smash that subscribe button? And while they're smashing, I do ask people, tickle that notification bell because you want to be notified every time we drop a new video on the Dr. B's YouTube channel. But who also has got great content on their YouTube channel? This guy right here. So go ahead and plug away, sir.
Well, you're so kind. So I describe it, and we talk about this as a niche channel that really focuses on the process and the beauty of detailing. You're not going to find a channel in mine where you learn how to use products. You've got Pan, he's the expert at that. But what I like to do is provide viewers with like cinematic, visually pleasing content. And I think I'm becoming a little renowned for my coverage of foam, the foam process. So when I do a project in my garage, I will spend an hour just foaming the car. And I'll do it a few times, secrets revealed. I do the foam process a few times to catch the drips.
The drips.
And to feature the car too, right? Like a car looks amazing when it's clean, but it also looks really amazing while it's being cleaned and pampered and spoiled. So yeah, I try to bring some sensuality to the car detailing video game, if you will.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, it's a niche channel. I don't know if I'll ever blow up to 1 million views like some people, but people that do watch my channel and have found me, they always have really nice things to say. And that's another nice thing is the community I have helped develop is just so supportive and so nice. And you're a big part of that, and I thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Speaking of the foams, I know that is like the signature of the RAD Garage cinematography.
I could foam all day.
Experience. So this car hasn't had water on it in 20 years.
That's crazy.
And so we had a challenge because it's like, that's like, we need to have that film. But again, this is, is it Kismet, is it whatever it was, but I just so happen to have this same color combination in the modern vehicle. So this is where this owner came to Dr. Beasley's and basically offered the vehicle to us if we wanted to film content on it. I immediately reached out to Rick and said, hey, let's see if we can get a weekend, you fly down, let's film our process on this. And going through that, and then we kind of were talking through what we want to do, and it was like, wait a minute, we don't have the foam shop.
Yeah, that confused me because you said the car hadn't seen water. I assumed you were talking about rain. I had never thought people would have a car that doesn't get rained on, but would not use water to wash it.
Yes.
So it took a while for me to compute what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because I still, even though you said that, I was like, well, I can't wait to have the foam dripping off this grill. But then I think it was just about a week prior to me arriving, I realized we're not using water on this car.
Yes.
Water.
No water used on this car at all. So this is when we had to all right, how are we gonna get the signature RAD Garage, foam drips coming off the bottom end of the front bumper. So that's when we decided we're gonna tell the story of the modern 350 and the classic 350, basically updating the older brother to the younger brother's standard. So this way, you guys are gonna see when this video posts over on his, you will get, for those of you who already are on the RAD Garage train, you will get your, ubiquitous foam shot, the signature foam shot, but just not on this car, on the car that's on the other side of the room. So we were able to solve that little
So
wrinkle.
we solved that little problem, but we created a second one because now I have easily 1,000 clips. Because the cars, there's 2 cars.
Yeah.
I already have a lot of clips when I do a single car. And they're amazing cars with so many amazing angles and features. And then we got the foam dripping off yours. We've got the Nano-Resin Pro. It might be a week, maybe 10 days of me just plugging away in my editing room. I don't know how happy my wife will be, but it's a good problem to have.
Well, probably a double-edged sword, because normally you're probably not used to having that much raw footage to work with.
No, not at all. This is 3 times, maybe 4 times the normal amount of footage I go home with.
So if you guys really want to appreciate what Rick does, I mean, you view his films on his channel, and I film on purpose because they're not instructional videos. These are films. So you view his films on his channel. Understand that not only is he creating the content, he's doing the work himself. Truly a one-man show. So how was it now? Being able to come in here and take a step back from the actual service,
Yeah.
and be able to focus just on the art of creating amazing cinematography.
It's very different. It's, but it has its own stress in that. It's like, well, now I have 100% focus and attention on the filming, so I got to raise my game.
Yeah.
Right? But when I'm doing them both, I can do them both very well. But now without doing the one, it's like, well, I have to, and I want to impress you guys. You've been so gracious. You've brought me down here. You've fed me deep dish pizza. We went out for Italian. I want this video to be my capstone video. So listen, YouTube, don't mess me around on this one. Let people see this video. It's going to be worth watching. For people with attention spans, though.
Yes.
Right? Today's younger people, I think they want 30-second videos. This will be a full feature film.
Yes.
It might even be an hour. I don't know. It's going to be a half an hour easy. But I like how you call my work films, because that is really what I go for. I wish I had started by making 30-minute films from the start, because that allows me to tell the whole story. And this project, there's a lot of story.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like we've got a storied car from the past, just our whole going and picking it up.
Oh yeah.
Driving both these cars down the expressway into Chicago.
Oh, so yeah,
Like,
so we had to go out. I pick up Rick at the airport Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then, so we had to head to a western suburb of Chicago, undisclosed location.
The lair.
And to go pick up this vehicle. So I picked him up in my 350 to go pick up this 350. So both of us end up being kind of both excited, equally excited and nervous, because now I gotta drive this thing back into the city, which I don't own it, and it's highly valuable.
Yeah.
And then I'm handing the keys to Rick, who's gotta drive my car, back into the city, which, I'm okay with. I mean, my wife was like, who is this Rick? And you're letting him drive the Shelby?
It's an honor.
Honey. It's okay.
An honor.
He's a good guy.
I was nervous because I haven't driven a manual regularly, probably in 20 years. But it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
And your car is very easy to drive, actually.
Oh, yes.
The only problem I had was it really roars, no matter what you're doing. So it looked like there were a few times, well, these cars got a lot of attention.
Yes.
But there were a few times I wasn't really going for the attention, but it was happening. And I got a lot of thumbs up. But
subtlety is not that vehicle's forte.
And we were cruising along having a great time. And then we hit Sunday afternoon Chicago rush hour.
It's just Chicago.
Oh my gosh.
It's not traffic, folks. It's just Chicago. That's how we roll. So.
If anyone's watching this that lives in Calgary, stop complaining about traffic. You have no idea. You need to come to Chicago on a Sunday afternoon. It was stop and go for about an hour.
Yeah.
But
in a manual, no less. So
yeah.
But and it's funny. So Rick and I got a conversation about this, and because my whole theory of, if we want to eliminate traffic jams, we should outlaw the automatic transmission. That's my thought.
Explain it to the viewers, though.
All right, so the whole idea is, because anyone who drives a manual out there knows, you're driving, you don't want to be constantly clutching, clutch out, so you give a little bit of breathing room to the car in front of you. And so you're also going to utilize engine braking, because, in my feeling, Americans only know shift it into drive, there's the go pedal and the stop pedal, and realize there's no nuance in between. They don't understand engine braking, or maybe giving, how about two seconds? between you and the vehicle in front of you.
Well, they don't need to, right? They don't need to consider that. But when you're riding the clutch on a high-performance car, it really becomes apparent that I don't want to stop and start from a full, no, I got you now. It's a good theory. You guys should we should all do that. We should outlaw automatics and...
Contact your congressman now. Outlaw automatic transmissions now.
Canadians, talk to your member of parliament.
Ooh, classy. Parliament.
Parliament. Parlay.
You know, I like, because you know, Canada is the Europe of the Western Hemisphere. So, you know, they're classy up there. You know, I gotta say that.
Well, can we talk about Chicago just for a minute?
Yeah.
Because I've been here now, I think this is my 4th trip to Chicago, and each time it's been car related. So it's just been cool trips. But I was talking to you about, the second I land in Chicago, I sense the flavor. People here, I don't know if this is everywhere in the States, I've been a few places, but people just seem to have personality and they're unapologetic about what they like.
So, no, and this is where I say, I'm like, do 25 years of this, and it's unapologetic to the point where you just want to guess what, I'm leaving and going to Wisconsin.
I love it, it's refreshing. We were walking down Michigan Ave, and you got the guys on those 3-wheel bikes coming through with the lights. There's guys on doing, people are themselves here.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I feel in Canada, we're much more reserved. Yeah. Oh, people might be watching. I better be, but here it was like, remember that big Chevy that came by?
Oh yeah.
It's a great city, and the food, oh my God.
Oh, I mean, I might be slightly biased. You know, I lived here for many years, and it is the best eating town in the country, I think, and quite possibly the world.
Well, my good friend, my neighbor, who is a chef, very accomplished chef, he's probably watching this. He told me when I was coming down here, you're going to my favorite food city in the world. And we actually went to a restaurant that he really enjoyed, and I sent him a picture of what we were eating, and what did he say in the text? He's like, I can
smell the truffles from here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so many options. It's just such a vibrant, dynamic city. I can see it probably gets to you after a lot of time, right? Yeah. It's busy. There was a lot of ambulance sirens and fire trucks last night when I was trying to sleep, but I'm going back to very reserved Canada. Yeah. Everyone behaves, except me.
Right? So let's get into the process of the vehicles. Now, we came in Monday morning, and the first thing I think we got to was the 2020 GT350, and we just did basically a maintenance wash on it.
So Simon's hand wash.
Simon's hand wash.
Yeah, that was really interesting for me to see the process you guys have. Very similar to what I use at home, and it's just so old school. I just love it. Where I'm from, hand washes where you drive your car in, it's not something you would trust. Yeah. Sorry, those of you, it's just, I would take it to me, but what I saw was just a setup that just really is dialed in. You can tell it's taken decades and it's just done. So you walked through that, I filmed that. And then I think you dried it off and we pulled it into
the dry bay.
Then what did we do? I can't remember now. I think
blew it off. We had the Ego blowers.
Did we do the rinseless or no? What did we do on this?
Then the prep wash, yes.
Prep wash, right.
So, because the whole thing was, again, this car, by request of the owner, no water on it. So it hasn't had water on 20 years. So instead, we have a product called Prep Wash. Now, it's basically a rinseless wash, but we don't call it that because it's not something you want to finish with. You know, if someone used it as a rinseless wash, they would be on the phone with me, probably be like, what's going on here? Because they just pulled off and stripped off all the fillers, all the waxes, anything that was on that surface, exposing all the defects that were hiding below. The whole idea being is you can't correct what you can't see. So that's what the prep wash does. But the other thing that's nice about prep wash, when you have a classic or an exotic, now you don't have to actually lay water on the car. Like we get a lot of, say a 4088 Pista, a track car. It's got holes cut all over the engine cover. Last thing you want to do is dump water on it because that customer didn't pay for an engine detail. Yeah. So again, this is where the prep wash, when your end game is ceramic coating and you're gonna perform the paint correction, you want to really start with the prep wash. you know, and that will strip all that kind of stuff off. And again, allow us not to put any water on this vehicle at all.
Yeah, it's good food for thought. I just keep going back to I love foam. I
Yeah.
love the foam pre-wash, but this is a different.
Yeah.
For each project has its its idiosyncrasies.
So we had to come and do basically a prep wash on this thing, and then both cars, or this car got clayed then. And we actually used the prep wash for the clay. And I thought we got some really good footage, because one of the things I love about prep wash as a clay lubricant is that we're continuing that cleaning process.
Yeah.
And I think we got some good footage as Christian and Jose were working the surface with the clay. You could actually see like the brown, sudsy, like all the crap that was coming off.
It pooled in some of the fender areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was surprised because it didn't look at all dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
But with that prep wash and the clay process, there was proof everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I hope my camera was able to feature that, because it was quite remarkable.
And then we went into the whole paint correction on this thing.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, originally I know I had ordered up with Simon's Detail a level 3 correction on this, but we started taking some paint measurements. I mean, right around 3 on the top of the car. On the roof, we were just under 3. On the sides, we were at around, you know, mid 2s to low 2s.
There were some 1s, I thought.
And there was a 1 here and there sprinkled in. And then right around where that, you know, that unique deck lid, what makes this car a 101 is that deck lid, that fiberglass deck lid, they had some body work. And I talked to the owner. And it's not that the car had been painted or anything like that, but when they installed that deck lid to get it to kind of match up, they did that back in period. So that makes sense why
so they needed to level it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Because we were getting, you know, we're with our PTG thickness meter, it's getting like
that was cool.
thick layer of putty. Like it was literally like flashing red on my phone and going, thick layer of putty.
Putty alert. Yeah. Putty alert. It literally did that.
Yeah.
I thought we were in trouble.
But no, so, you know, we decided it's basically going to be a level 1-ish correction where we could get a little bit deeper. We would, but essentially we're not going at this point. Again, original paint, mostly original paint vehicle, except for when they try to, when they had to kind of even out that trunk lid back in the 60s. So either way, you're talking 70, 60-year-old paint, whatever it is. So at this point, we decided we just really wanted to exfoliate.
Yeah, and it didn't look like there's no swirl marks or anything like that. Like there's some deeper defects in it. Yeah. And the fiberglass, the trunk, and so the hood and the deck lid, the trunk are fiberglass, and we did notice quite a bit of texture on the fiberglass. Yeah, you did that little trick where I put some, what was it, plastic wrap?
Just the cellophane. Yeah.
Then we used your staff. Who I can't
the
remember.
royal we. It's okay.
The royal we.
The royal we
applied the paint builder and the Nano-Resin Pro, and she's gleaming now.
Oh yeah. I mean, this car, the before and afters on this thing, guys. I mean, I know the camera is always hard to be, especially on white, but I mean, it is a dramatic change, I would say, from and I think the owner is going to be absolutely flabbergasted when he comes and picks it up.
Selfishly, from my perspective, I also got to see a lot of Dr. Beasley's products in action that I don't own and I haven't used. You used, what was it, a metal seal?
Oh, metal coat, yeah.
Metal coat.
The only, so metal coat, unique product. It is so intended for uncoated, highly finished metal surfaces. So polished stainless steel, polished aluminum, polished chrome, such as this bumper. You know, what do you protect it with? You go polish it, you get it all, the contamination off and all that, but what are you gonna protect it with? So we have introduced, actually just a reformulated version about 2 years ago, now with 3-year durability on that product. So now we can coat all the chrome on this vehicle and keep that looking well for many years to come.
Thanks for the demo on that one. On the wheels, you attacked it with 2 products.
Yeah, the wheels, again, the whole no water thing, you know, because I wanted to throw, I mean, it's the easiest way to do the wheels. So the way I decided to go about the wheels, especially being a steel wheel car, original steel wheel car, obviously painted, so I didn't really want to be super aggressive with it. They were dirty, but it wasn't, you know, baked on brake dust. So premium wheel cleanser, which is our least aggressive wheel product, which was plenty aggressive enough to clean what we needed to do.
It was really pulling everything out.
Absolutely.
We saw that, the camera focuses on that a little bit.
Yeah. And just agitated with my boar's head, you know, brush, boar's head.
No, you used a boar head.
Got the boar's head. But
it's a new technique.
Exactly.
It's going to really catch on.
boar's hair
right.
brush. So we use that to agitate a little bit around the lugs. But my concern was, because there's those little kind of vent gaps or whatever they were, was where's that cleanser? It isn't as benign as it might be. It's still an alkaline cleanser. It's not base. So
yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm just like, again, this car's, if I was rinsing it off, I wouldn't worry about it. But because I'm just, again, it's eating away at my brain that like I can't just walk away knowing that there's an alkaline cleanser lingering. So that's when I came back with our pH neutralizer to give me, satisfy my particular brand of neuroses and OCD that yes, I have now stopped that alkaline cleanser from working by neutralizing it. And then it gives me another opportunity for a wipe down just to really dial in the
And then we conditioned the tires.
Oh yeah, of course with the Beasley's tire conditioner. I mean, the rubber is not new on these things. This car does 24,000 original miles on this car. So gotta keep that rubber, not cracking. So we gotta keep it moisturized, gotta feed it.
Well, for the age of this car, it looks brand new.
Yeah.
It honestly looks brand new. Yeah, so then, so this one was all wrapped up. We had it over in that space, and then I think we were done for the day.
Yeah, we finished off the day, went out to dinner, come back this morning, and then we did a Bead Hero treatment on the 2020. And then one of my favorite products, I think a truly unheralded product in the Beasley's collection, Wheel Seal.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a product we have both matte and gloss versions, so matte wheel seal or standard wheel seal for gloss wheels. And the thing I love about this, especially in that car's situation, I am not shy about running that vehicle.
Yeah, you're not afraid.
It's a vehicle that's meant to be driven, and I drive it the way it's meant to be driven. And that means 6-piston Brembos producing copious amounts of brake dust.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about this is, and I think you saw some of this when we were doing the wash process, because I always use wheel seal in my process, is how I was able to hit my wheels with the power washer.
Yeah.
And just boop.
Yeah. That was 90% of it was gone just from water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just love that product because it'll trap those contaminants and then just boom, releases. So
how often do you apply that? Like every wash?
I do it every wash. I mean,
it doesn't take long.
No.
Spray on, wipe off.
Spray on, let dwell for 5 minutes or so. I mean, and then wipe it off.
Yeah.
Good to go.
It helps. You've got what, 5 spokes on that?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Like, I don't have
30 seconds.
I don't have basket weaves to sit there and that would be a little.
Yeah, and then so we did the Bead Hero. We conditioned those tires, and that basically brought the project to an end. And then
Glamor shot time.
We took it out to this really cool spot over here, very industrial. Very
Sears Tower in the background and all that.
Very excited to put all the footage that I've harvested, and thank you to your team for their work too. I know they did some really great work with the big gimbal.
Oh yeah.
One thing I'm not too good at is...
Our gimbal's bigger than his gimbal.
Oh, massive. It's America. Biggest gimbal you've ever seen. We just have these little petite...
It's a little petite gimbal, not the big American gimbal.
So no calls for me for the next 2 weeks. I'll be in my office just plugging away, editing all this up. But
sorry, Heather, that was my fault. I took your husband away for not only a weekend, but the following 10 days.
Maybe I'll do it like Pan does in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Or the 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'll do the Pan schedule.
All right, I mean, I know it's been my distinct pleasure, Rick, to have you out here. And there's one more thing I had for you before we sign off for this. So this is now your second trip into Chicago, your second time here at Dr. Beasley's HQ. Ethan, kindly, sir, if you don't mind.
You bought me a condo.
We'll get you there. So
what is this?
Rick, we feel like we need some proper representation up in Alberta. So I know you proudly display your Dr. Beasley's Pro Detailing banner, but here we would like to officially welcome you as a Dr. Beasley's authorized detailer.
Holy smokes.
The ever coveted 4x6 vinyl Dr. Beasley's authorized detail.
I need this signed. I need some signatures on this before I go home.
All right, we'll get that done.
Wow. Holy cow. Awesome, man.
You got that all in frame?
we could.
Just so we get.
We need some slider footage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, guys. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Rick, again for checking out. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, get over to the RAD Garage channel, give him a smash and a tickle, and we will see you on the next Dr. Beasley's production.
Thanks so much.
You bet.
This is awesome.